Imagine waking up one morning feeling weirdly different. You glance at the mirror and instead of your usual reflection, you see a person who's suddenly sprouted 8 extra eyes and your body's sticking to walls like a magnet. You're not dreaming, and no, this isn't some cool superpower reveal. This is the reality of being born a Spider-Man, or Spider-Person. And let me tell you, it's not as fun as it looks in the movies. Sure, swinging through the city may look cool on screen, but when it comes to the day-to-day grind of being Spider-Man, life is a constant battle. Here's why being born with the abilities of Spider-Man might actually suck. Let's start with the biggest challenge, responsibility. Spider-Man, like most superheroes, is handed a huge burden. The classic line, "With great power comes great responsibility," doesn't just sound poetic. It's the reality of every Spider-Man's life. The moment you gain spider-like abilities, you're also given the duty to protect the innocent, fight crime, and generally be the go-to person when things go wrong. But with this responsibility comes a harsh truth. You're essentially expected to fix the world's problems, all while keeping your own life intact. Can you imagine being a teenager, or any age, really, and suddenly becoming the guardian of an entire city? The pressure to protect your loved ones and random strangers becomes overwhelming. And that's before we even talk about the toll it takes on your personal life. Then there's the whole issue of constant adaptation and foraging. As a Spider-Man, your life isn't just about fighting villains, it's about figuring out how to live with your powers. Sure, you can crawl up walls and have spider senses that alert you to danger, but you also need to figure out how to deal with these abilities in the context of everyday life. For instance, how do you hide the fact that you can stick to ceilings when you're out with friends? Or worse, on a date? What happens if your webbing malfunctions mid-swing and you fall face first into a crowd? Or what if, in the middle of a big battle, you realize your suit is getting torn up and you need to patch it up? You don't just have superpowers. You also need to forage for gadgets, repair your suit, and constantly update your skills. One of the most difficult aspects of being a Spider-Man is the lack of guidance. While other superheroes usually have mentors or a whole team to lean on, Spider-Man often faces the world alone. Sure, you get advice from Aunt May or the occasional hero cameo, but at the end of the day, Spider-Man is expected to figure things out by himself. The truth is, being Spider-Man doesn't come with a manual, and you're likely to make a lot of mistakes along the way. The feeling of isolation can be crippling. You can't tell your best friend or significant other the truth because of the danger it poses to their safety, and you're often forced to keep everything hidden. This lack of guidance, combined with the weight of your responsibilities, can lead to moments of doubt, depression, and exhaustion. In short, you're constantly juggling your personal struggles while also trying to keep the city safe. Speaking of keeping the city safe, let's talk about the constant confrontations. Every single day, there's a new villain, a new crisis, or some new catastrophe you have to deal with. It doesn't matter how many bad guys you've already fought or how much damage you've already fixed. There's always someone new showing up to cause chaos. Whether it's a massive alien invasion or a petty street criminal, as Spider-Man, you're expected to confront them all. And while that may seem heroic, it's also exhausting. Being in near constant battle takes a toll on your mental, physical, and emotional health. Imagine going from fighting a supervillain one night to studying for a test the next day. It's nearly impossible to maintain that balance without burning out. And on top of that, the consequences of failure often lead to even worse outcomes. The people you love could get hurt, or worse, because you weren't able to save everyone. By now, you've probably realized that being Spider-Man means sacrificing almost everything that makes a normal life. Relationships suffer, friendships fray, and any chance at a normal career goes right out the window. It's tough to maintain meaningful connections when you can't be around or even be honest with the people you care about. Take Peter Parker, for instance. He's often shown as struggling with keeping his identity secret from the world, especially from those closest to him. He's forced to let his relationships suffer to protect his loved ones from the dangers of his alter ego. How do you go on dates, hang out with friends, or even just relax when you're constantly on the lookout for danger? And heaven forbid you fall in love with someone. Because when you're Spider-Man, your love life is basically a ticking time bomb, ready to explode at any moment. So why does it suck to be born a Spider-Man? In short, it's the relentless pressure, constant foraging, the lack of guidance, and the ceaseless confrontations that make the life of a Spider-Man a never-ending struggle. While they may look like the heroes of the story, Spider-Men are trapped in a cycle of isolation, sacrifice, and exhaustion, all for the greater good of protecting the world. Yet there's something undeniably heroic about the resilience they show. Despite everything and the responsibility, the danger, the heartbreak, Spider-Men keep going. They keep fighting, keep caring, and keep doing what they can to make the world a better place. Maybe that's the true power of being Spider-Man. Not the superhuman strength or agility, but the heart and resilience to keep fighting even when the world seems like it's falling apart.